The Serengeti stretches beneath an empty sky, where everything unfolds in broad daylight, and power is... The Amazon sinks into its own darkness, where everything happens in silence. And the most powerful creature is the one that is never seen. The lion steps into the open because its strength lies in its presence. The jaguar dissolves into the night because its strength lies in its absence. One roars so the world will bow. The other falls silent so the world cannot turn in time. Each species speaks its own language. Each continent has its own grammar, but every one of them is saying the same thing. Adapt, or become a memory. In the Kalahari Basin, water is the supreme force, compelling even its rulers to redefine their very nature. The epicenter of this transformation lies in the Okavango Delta, a phenomenal work of nature. Each year, a great river begins its journey from Angola, but its destination is not the sea.
Instead, it ventures into the desert's heart, turning nearly 6,000 square miles of dry sand into a lush wetland before it evaporates.
It is a miracle of life, recognized as a globally significant natural area. And in the heart of that heritage site, lions have rewritten every rule their kind once followed. The Okavango lions are unlike any other population on the continent. Their bodies have changed, broader shoulders, deeper chests, and muscles far more developed than their dryland relatives. This was no sudden alteration. It is a legacy etched into their very bloodline over countless generations. Natural selection has forged an extraordinary instinct, a skill for water combat that no lesson could ever teach.
They move with a high-stepping gait, lifting each leg vertically from the water before placing it down,
minimizing the drag of the current. Their paws are wider than normal, acting like snowshoes on the soft mud, distributing their weight to prevent them from sinking. Renowned filmmakers have dedicated their lives to chronicling the Okavango.
Describe it as the most astonishing adaptation they have ever witnessed in lions.
But the most profound transformation is not in their anatomy, but in their hunting tactics. While their dryland cousins kill with a suffocating bite to the throat, the Okavango lions drive their targets into channels and drown them. This strategy requires something that mere instinct cannot create: deliberate coordination between individuals and a deep understanding of the watery terrain. And above all, the courage to conquer an element that feline instinct has always sought to avoid. The Baye people, fishermen who live along the Okavango's channels, call the lion Tau. In their language, Tau is not just a name, it is a symbol of sacred power, a clan totem. In this inundated world, the lion's greatest adversary is none other than the African buffalo. An Okavango buffalo herd can number up to 2,000, a moving fortress that even the largest pride must hesitate to attack. On the head of each adult bull, 2 horns fuse into a solid shield of bone, called a boss. Fully formed when the animal reaches 8 to 9 years of age, that shield can withstand the direct charge of a male lion. It is the product of millions of years of natural selection in a world full of enemies. Ecologist Herbert Prinz discovered that when a herd needs to decide on a direction, the adult females stand and look towards where they wish to go. The will of the majority decides, a form of primitive democracy, operating in the heart of the wild. Buffalo traverse the swamps on wide, splayed hooves like combat boots, pushing through mud without slowing. They bathe in mud daily. The dried layer forms a natural armor that both regulates their temperature and deters parasites. Vigilance. And as the buffalo move, they mow down the tall, tough grasses untouched by other grazers, clearing paths for But buffalo are not the only force shaping the wetlands. There is another ecological engineer. Heavier, more dangerous, and far more ancient, the hippopotamus. Eyes, ears, and nostrils are aligned on the top of their head, like the periscope of a submarine, allowing them to see while almost fully submerged.
Their skin secretes a red fluid called hipposudoric acid, not blood, but a natural sunscreen that blocks ultraviolet rays and kills bacteria.
Research by Saikawa and colleagues, published in the journal Nature in 2004, confirmed this is a unique. But the hippo's greatest contribution to the Okavango is not its fighting prowess. Each night, the herds come ashore to graze, returning to the water before dawn. These channels become the arteries of the delta. Carrying water to drier lands, expanding the swamp's borders, and creating habitats for fish, birds, and hundreds of other species. Hippos don't build dams like beavers. They are simply too big, too heavy, and travel too often, unintentionally creating a natural irrigation network that is irreplaceable. The channels created by hippos are also the highways that lions use to move between hunting grounds. Without hippos, lions would have to swim through dense marsh, a slower, more dangerous, and far more exhausting journey.
The lower canines of an adult bull can reach 20 inches in length. Its bite force is estimated at 1,800 pounds.
A force strong enough to splinter a wooden boat, and certainly enough to cost any intruder, even a lion, its life. When two bulls fight for territory, they gape to their widest extent, displaying their enormous teeth in a lethal yawn. The battles can last for hours, often ending only when one of the combatants falls. But the Okavango also hides a threat that not even a hippo can withstand: anthrax. The bacterium, Bacillus anthracis, periodically erupts in the delta, and hippos are among the first victims.
When a hippo dies from anthrax, its carcass becomes a biological bomb, releasing spores into the water, soil,
But even the Lord of the Water has an enemy more ancient than any mammal. And that enemy has been waiting for millions of years, still, silent, perfect: the Nile crocodile. Research by Leach and Catania, published in the Journal of Experimental Biology in 2012, proved these senses are more sensitive than a human fingertip. Along the crocodile's lower jaw, hundreds of integrated sensory organs, called ISOs, are densely packed like a biological.
The American alligator's back is armored with osteoderms, bony plates embedded just beneath the skin.
But the osteoderms are not just armor. Beneath each plate lies a dense network of blood vessels, acting as in their stomachs, dozens of small stones, called gastroliths, are deliberately swallowed. Not for digestion, but for ballast, just as a submarine adjusts its depth with water.
A crocodile's attack is not a test of endurance. It is an explosion of power, executed in a single second.
A strike from below, so fast the human eye can barely register it. The prey is dragged under, spun in a maneuver known as the death roll.
A technique for tearing flesh without chewing.
And here we discover an astonishing aspect, one that seems to contradict the very nature of a crocodile. They also eat fruit. The seeds pass through their digestive system and are deposited along the riverbanks, a form of seed dispersal known as saurochory.
A Nile crocodile can survive for 1 to 2 years after a large meal, an efficiency of metabolism unmatched by any mammal.
The relationship between crocodile and hippo in the Okavango is a tense equilibrium.
Yet an adult hippo can snap a 10-foot crocodile in half with a single bite.
Two continents, 7 species. One immutable law: adapt or vanish. African lions are declining sharply due to habitat loss. Grey wolves, once extinct, now recovering, yet their future remains uncertain. Grizzlies are confined to fragmented populations across the lower continent. Yet, as long as the endless grasslands remain, as long as the rivers run, and as long as the deep nearly 2 million creatures converge on a muddy river. Not all of them will reach the other side. But those who do will continue to write their unbroken story. Thank you for joining Nature Moments. The natural world still holds countless stories waiting to be told. See you in the next episode. Across the sun-scorched plains of Africa, life evolves in a delicate equilibrium. And at the heart of this arduous struggle for survival, there is a powerful figure, the lioness, an emblem. Unlike the males, who often play a role of protection and procreation, it is the females who are the core of the pride's hunting prowess. Weighing around 265 pounds, they can reach speeds of up to 37 miles per hour. Typically, lionesses stay together for life, often as sisters, mothers, and grandmothers. This blood bond fortifies the trust and coordination essential for the hunt. Environmental pressures, territorial conflicts, injuries from the hunt, and competition from outsider males make survival a precarious venture. Yet, in this brief time, a lioness matures quickly, reaching her prime at around 6 years old, when her strength and experience are at their peak. What makes lionesses so remarkably capable is their ability to manage challenges that are many times their own size. They rely not just on size or strength, but on precise cooperation, a clear division of roles, and an incredible patience for the ambush. Today, the Pride is targeting a herd of Cape buffalo, a formidable and dangerous prey, but one that offers a rich reward. A Cape buffalo weighs around 1,760 pounds, is armed with sharp, curved horns and a fearsome temperament. And is considered one of the most formidable adversaries on the plains. Yet, this is precisely what makes them the ultimate prize if the hunt succeeds.
herd scatters in a storm of dust.
The silent warriors of the savannah have claimed another victory, not through individual might, but through strategy, unity, and courage. In Africa, the lioness is a symbol of resilience and the art of survival. Through their collective hunts, they can fell prey many times their own weight and nourish an entire pride. Amid the harsh Kalahari Desert, where the heat and ever-present predators threaten every moment, a small society endures through its weighing less than 2 pounds and measuring just 12 inches long, meerkats live in close-knit groups of up to several dozen individuals. Each member has a function, from digging for food to standing sentinel against danger. One stands erect, scanning the sky, while others search for scorpions, insects, and small lizards beneath the hot sand. They communicate with a diverse repertoire of calls, issuing different alarm signals for eagles, snakes, and jackals. When danger appears, the entire group freezes and vanishes underground.
Meerkats are not only skilled defenders, they are also adept hunters.
This is a technique learned from an early age. This wisdom is passed from one generation to the next, allowing them to survive in an unforgiving land. Across the sun-drenched plains of eastern and southern Africa, a silent figure glides through the short grass. It is not a lion, nor a hyena. It is the cheetah, armed with a weapon no other predator can match: absolute speed. With its slender build, lightweight body, and an extraordinarily flexible spine, the cheetah can flex and launch its... It has long forelimbs, powerful hind legs, and non-retractable claws that, like an athlete's spikes, increase its grip as it runs.
Large nostrils, expansive lungs, a powerful heart, and a long tail that acts as a rudder help it maintain balance at top speed.
Thanks to these adaptations, a cheetah can accelerate to over 62 miles per hour in just a few seconds, a marvel in the animal kingdom.
However, these sprints quickly lead to exhaustion, leaving them vulnerable to having their kill stolen.
While female cheetahs live a solitary existence, the males, particularly brothers from the same litter, form small coalitions of 2 to 4 individuals.
It is a fundamental evolutionary strategy, improving territorial defense, increasing hunting efficiency, and providing mutual protection.
But with a coalition of males, that rate can double. Speed is instinct. Strategy is intelligence. Each one is not just a powerful individual, but a vital link in a machine of lethal precision. In the dense forests of Central Africa, chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, live in incredibly cohesive social group.
However, in recent decades, scientists have observed a notable shift.
Chimpanzees have begun to hunt vertebrate prey, particularly red colobus monkeys.
Meat is not only a valuable source of protein, but also a tool for forging social bonds.
Males share meat with females or their allies to strengthen their position.
From gentle fruit gatherers, chimpanzees have transformed into strategic hunters, using their intelligence and coordination to
On the African savanna, every creature believes speed is everything. But the most dangerous predator is the one willing to wait the longest. Concealed deep within the acacia canopy, a solitary creature lies utterly motionless. Not a muscle twitches. Not a single breath betrays her presence. The leopard, 130 pounds of lean muscle, sculpted by 40 million years of evolution, for a single purpose: patience. While every other predator relies on speed, the leopard stakes everything on time. It can lie motionless for hours, waiting for one perfect moment. And when that moment arrives, it is over in an instant. The leopard's shoulder blades are not rigidly fused to the collarbone like most mammals. Instead, they float freely within layers of muscle, a structure known as synsarcosis. This grants the forelimbs a staggering range of motion, turning every leap into a silent, lethal explosion of force. After bringing down its prey, the leopard does what no other big cat can. It hauls its recent catch, weighing 3 times its own body, up a tree trunk 30 feet high. That is not brute strength. That is technique, leverage. Millions of years of evolution compressed into every fiber of muscle. High on the branch, the meal is safe from hyenas, from lions, from any rival that would steal it. Patience rewarded. But the leopard is vanishing. The International Union for Conservation of Nature lists them as vulnerable. Habitat is shrinking. Conflict with humans is rising. The most patient hunter on the savanna is losing the one race that matters most. The race for survival. Welcome to Nature's Moments, where we explore the greatest mysteries of the natural world. Yet, the leopard holds no monopoly on the art of concealment. Other creatures, too, have mastered this vital skill. Among the leopard's preferred prey, one name stands out: the African warthog. Clumsy in appearance, short and stocky, a face only a mother could love. It endures in deserts and open woodlands alike, eating whatever the ground provides. Roots, tubers, grasses, even insect remains. A warthog can run at 30 miles per hour, fast enough to deter potential threats. And where they run is not open ground. It is a tunnel. Warthogs commandeer the burrows of aardvark's underground fortresses. They never spent a drop building. When a predator closes in, they reverse into the hole. Head facing outward, the upper tusks curve backward, used for digging and defense. The lower tusks are shorter, but these are the true weapons. Each time the jaws open, the lower pair grinds against the upper, honing themselves like a blade on a whetstone. A warthog's knees are covered in thick calluses, the evidence of thousands of hours spent kneeling to dig and forage.
Each warthog group typically consists of a mother and her young.
Adult males live alone, appearing only during the breeding season. On the savanna, solitude is sometimes the smartest survival strategy. But a solitary life is not the only way. As the sun climbs, this sunlit realm is claimed by a boisterous yet disciplined legion, the baboons. The relationship between leopard and baboon is one of the savanna's strangest paradoxes. The question, who is the predator, has no fixed answer. By day, baboons dominate. Troops of hundreds move like a disciplined army, eyes scanning every direction, alarm calls echoing across the grassland.
Their canine teeth measure 2 inches long, proportional to body size, larger than a lion's.
A single adult male baboon can make a leopard think twice. An entire troop can send it running. They eat everything: grass, roots, scorpions, even meat when the opportunity arises. A rigid hierarchy governs the troop, and every individual knows its exact rank. The social hierarchy within a baboon troop is maintained through complex political alliances. A male seeking to climb the ranks must find allies, partners, and build trust, much like a political campaign. Mother baboons defend their infants with their lives. When a leopard strikes at the troop, the mothers charge first. 2-inch canines snapping at the air, screams reverberating through the valley. But when the sun sets, the balance shifts entirely. Baboons lack a tapetum lucidum, the reflective layer behind the retina that grants animals night vision. After dark, they are nearly blind. The leopard sees 6 times better than humans at night. Darkness is its kingdom. Baboons climb sheer cliff faces or the highest branches to sleep, the only way to survive until dawn. But sometimes, even that is not enough. By day, an army. By night, prey. The line between hunter and hunted on the savanna is never fixed. As dawn dispels the night, high among the tall trees, another quiet war begins. One fought not with tooth and claw, but with vigilance and absolute silence. The vervet monkey, small, quick, and in possession of one of the most sophisticated communication systems. In the animal kingdom, scientists call it referential signaling, a multi-code alarm system.
Each type of predator triggers a distinct call, precise, down to the last detail.
When a leopard appears, short, rapid alarm bursts ring out. The entire troop rockets into the trees. When an eagle's shadow sweeps across the sky, a different signal sounds. Every monkey drops flat to the ground, vanishing beneath the foliage. 3 types of calls, 3 completely different responses. That precision has saved thousands of generations. More striking still, infant vervet monkeys
Are not born knowing the alarm system. They must learn it from their mothers.
Like a living language, vervet monkeys are omnivores: fruit, flowers, insects, bird eggs.
They adapt to nearly every habitat, from open woodland to the fringes of cities.
On a savanna that worships fangs and speed, the vervet monkey proves a different truth sometimes.
Information is worth more than strength. If these survival strategies fascinate you,
share your thoughts in the comments below. But out on the vast grasslands, another power reigns not through darkness, not through intelligence, but through raw, overwhelming force. Lion N, the only big cat on the planet that lives in groups. And a lion pride is not a family, it is an empire. Lionesses are the backbone of the pride, leaner, faster. Their short coats blending into dry grass. They are the primary hunters, coordinating in seamless crescent formations, driving prey into kill zones. Lioness hunts through profound stillness. Pale golden fur dissolves into sun-bleached grass. The body presses flat against the earth, each step advancing as slow and sure as a rising tide. When the formation is set, a single short growl gives the command. One misses, the next is already in position. That is not luck. That is tactics. A male lion weighs up to 400 pounds, slower, bulkier, but that is the cost of carrying weaponry. The mane is not ornament. It is armor, shielding the neck and vital blood vessels. From a rival's fangs, a single male patrols a territory spanning up to 260 square miles. His roar registers at 114 decibels, as loud as a rock concert, and that is not simply a roar. It is a declaration of war and a warning, all at once. The average male lion holds his throne for just 2 to 3 years. The younger, stronger coalition arrives, and the battle for power begins. The loser is driven out, condemned to wander the grasslands alone. The lion's greatest strength does not lie in muscle, it lies in unity. They are the only big cats that live in a society, and that society is built on blood, loyalty and sacrifice. On the grasslands, the lion still holds the power of life and death.
And its primary prey, the wildebeest, has evolved in a way no one expected.
A newborn wildebeest stands within 7 minutes. It runs within 2 hours. In a world where every second counts, that is the difference between life and death.
An adult wildebeest runs at 50 miles per hour, but unlike the lion, it runs marathons.
Not sprints. The body is engineered for endurance, not explosion. And that is the lion's fatal weakness. A lion's heart is small relative to its body. Less than 0.5% of total weight. That means it explodes to 50 miles per hour within a few strides, but cannot sustain it. That is why over 1 million wildebeests have survived for millions of years. Not because they are stronger than lions, but because they last longer. Each year, the wildebeest herd migrates over 1,000 miles across the Serengeti and Masai Mara, the largest mammal migration on Earth. Thousands of calves are born along the way, rising to their feet and following the herd before predators can arrive. During calving season, 8,000 newborns enter the world each day on the Serengeti plains. Sheer numbers are the strategy. When thousands of calves appear at once, predators simply cannot consume them all. For this reason, lionesses do not chase. They ambush. A crescent formation, flanks spread wide, funneling prey toward the center. When the distance closes to under 100 feet, the decisive lunge. A lion's success rate is roughly 25%. 3 out of every 4 hunts end in failure. But on the savanna, persistence is the rule, not the exception. And when a lion does secure a meal, the thieves are never far behind. The feud between lions and spotted hyenas is one of the oldest confrontations on the African savanna. Spotted hyena society operates under a matriarchy. Females are larger, stronger, and hold absolute power. Males rank at the very bottom, lower even than the youngest female in the clan. The alpha female occupies the supreme position. Testosterone levels in the blood of female spotted hyenas run abnormally high, making them larger, more aggressive, and utterly dominant over the males. A hyena clan can number over 80 members. Their objective is straightforward: to seize every prize that lions have bled to earn. Spotted hyenas do not merely scavenge, they also hunt, and their success rate is impressively high. Those jaws crush a buffalo's femur like a popsicle stick. The aardwolf's laugh, a sound humans associate with madness, is in truth a sophisticated communication signal. Each variation of the call carries a different message: submission, fear, or excitement before a meal. When the clan has sufficient numbers, even lionesses must yield, surrendering a fresh kill. But when a male lion appears, the tables turn. 400 pounds of pure muscle. A majestic, thick mane, coupled with a ground-shaking roar, this alone is enough to break the result in a single heartbeat. Individual power, when it reaches a certain threshold, shatters every advantage of numbers. When the war between lions and hyenas erupt, it is not a dispute over a meal. It is a battle for control of the savannah, waged for millions of years with no end in sight. But not every prey animal chooses to flee. Some species plant their hooves, turn to face the charging predator, and fight back with devastating force. But not every prey animal chooses to flee. Some species plant their hooves, turn to face the charging predator, and fight back with devastating force. Winter is not for amateurs. For the American bison, this is just a normal Monday. They are another famous member of the bovini family, the tribe of giant hoofed animals. Bovines represent two separate evolutionary branches: the Bubalina subtribe, the true buffalo of the and the Bovina subtribe, the group that includes domestic cattle and bison. Bubalina representatives, like the Cape buffalo, have horns optimized to withstand bullets and tropical heat. Bovina members, such as American bison, developed a muscular shoulder hump and thick coat for cold. Their dense winter coat locks heat tightly inside the body, so effectively that not a trace of warmth escapes. This is a moving fortress, a challenger to nature's harshness with the gift it was given. Today, about 400,000 to 500,000 American bison roam across North America. An impressive number, but only a faint shadow of the past. In Yellowstone alone, where Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming meet, the largest wild population survives. This is the only sanctuary in the United States where this species has lived continuously since prehistoric times. The largest wild population in the world survives at around 4,800 to 6,000 individuals. In the late 19th century, when firearms pushed them to the edge of disappearance, every bison you see here today carries the bloodline of those 23 great survivors. The giant hump on the shoulder is a mass of pure muscle, supported by elongated vertebrae along the back. It works like a hydraulic lever system, allowing the animal to swing its heavy head like an industrial plow. This adaptation helps them reach nutrition that other herbivores can only watch from a distance in despair. Visitors often mistake American bison for slow and gentle giants, a misunderstanding that can lead to heartbreak. From 1980 to 1999, the number of American bison incidents involving they are saving energy for the real battles. Even rubbing their horns against cedar or pine trunks is a scientific calculation. They use tree resin and essential oils as a natural insect repellent, preparing for the harsh summer ahead. But their greatest foe is a genetic ghost from the past.
After the genetic bottleneck of the late 19th century, efforts to save this species led to crossbreeding.
Crossbreeding with domestic cattle, creating catallow or beefalo. Modern genetic analysis reveals a stark truth. Most bison herds today, including those in Yellowstone, carry domestic cattle DNA. Individuals that are 100% pure are now little more than ancient legends. What we are looking at are imperfect echoes of the past. But their power to endure has never been diluted. The harshness of the environment has selected the strongest. But winter is not the only hunter here. Those watching them from the shadows are far more ruthless and decisive. When facing the end, bison do not run. They form ranks. In Yellowstone, the list of creatures capable of challenging a prehistoric mass of muscle like the American bison is very short. Among the most prominent mammals of this high plateau, only gray wolves and grizzly bears are true contenders. True contenders for the role of throne toppler. However, each side follows a completely different hunting philosophy. Gray wolves are master strategists. The target is always the collapse of the defensive line. This is a psychological standoff. Wolves will test the herd's patience for hours, and sometimes the chase lasts more than 9 hours. If the wolves do not show clear stalking behavior, the American bison herd will often ignore them.
The horns of the American bison are not useless decorations.
To reduce risk, wolf packs that specialize in hunting bison usually have a higher proportion of males than normal.
This threat reaches its peak in late winter, when deep snow drains the herd's energy and turns these giants into weakened targets.
In contrast to the wolves' enduring coordination, grizzly bears are more like professional highway robbers. They have the strength to overpower an adult American bison, but they rarely choose to do it. Taking on a healthy bison alone is a low-return gamble with very high risk for a solitary hunter.
So grizzly bears choose a less bloody path. Driving off wolves and taking over the results of their labor. A surprisingly successful risk manager.
The size and weight of male wolves are key factors in bringing down a target that can weigh 15 times more than they do. These clashes are never personal. They are cold calculations of calories and survival. The predators are waiting for winter to do its harshest work, stripping strength from the giants. The struggle between these forces is an endless play on Yellowstone's stage. But whether wolf or bear, they all face the same truth. Bringing down an icon of strength has never been easy. In many people's minds, the American bison is a single, uniform creature.
But evolution does not work in such a simple way. Nature has created subtle refinements to match each distinct habitat.
In the northern forests of Alaska, Yukon, and Canada's Northwest Territories, we encounter the wood bison,
the true giant of this continent.
The difference is not only in size. Look at the hump, the signature mark of this lineage.
Plains bison have a smaller, more smoothly rounded hump.
In contrast, the wood bison carries a towering mass of muscle, clearly raised and more squared at the highest point. The skull structure is also refined, giving this northern forest subspecies a more powerful set of horns for dealing with predators in the tight spaces of the taiga forest. If we cross the ocean to the Old World, we meet the European bison, also known as the wisent. Although they look similar, this is a completely different chapter in the anatomy book. American bison are low-slung muscle machines, with their center of mass shifted forward.
With 15 pairs of ribs and 4 lumbar vertebrae.
Their neck structure gives them a natural forward-down head posture, turning them into specialists at grazing close to the ground. Meanwhile, their European relatives have 14 pairs of ribs and 5 lumbar vertebrae. Longer legs give them a more graceful appearance. 2 lives, 2 destinies, separated by latitude and old-growth forests, leading to different conservation regulations between the United States and Canada.